On my birthday, I got drunk and read creepypastas, and found a Pokemon one, and was kind of liquored up at this point, and just read it blind. So that's this. It's a little weird video, but you know, we got to get down to the truth of the real Pokemon conspiracy.
Pokemon Black, obviously. Here's a picture of a cartridge in case anybody recognizes it. Yeah, I'm gonna talk this one like a nerd. Okay, it's just called Super Creepy Pokemon Hack. Okay, I'm what you would call a collector of bootleg Pokemon games. Pokemon, Diamond, Jade, Chaos Black, etc. It's an amazing frequency which you can find pawn shops, Goodwill, flea markets, and such. It's a good way to go outside. They're generally fun, even if they are kind of unplayable, which they often are. And the mistranslations and poor quality make them intentionally horror humorous. I've been able to find most of the ones I've played online, but there are some that I haven't seen any mention of. I bought it at a flea market about 5 years ago. Here's a picture of the cartridge in case anybody recognizes it. Unfortunately, when I moved 2 years ago, I lost the game. So I can't reply you with screen caps, I'm sorry. The game started with familiar Nintendo and Gendar and the intro to Red and Blue version, but however, if you press the start screen has been altered. Red was there. The Pokemon did not cycle through. It also said Black version under the Pokemon logo. Upon setting selecting new game, the game started in Professor Oak's speech, and quickly it became clear that essentially Pokemon Red version. After selecting your starter, it looked like Pokemon you had addition, no Bulbasaur, and Charmander's, and Squirtle too. Ghost, Pokemon, other one. The Pokemon was level 1. It had a sprite of a ghost, and that encountered in the Lavender Tower before obtaining this life scope. It had one attack, Curse, and I know that there's a real move named Curse, but that attack did not exist in Generation 1, so it appears to be hacked in, and depending on Pokemon, we are actually unable to ghost. It could only say that there was too scared to move, and when you moved the Curse, it was used in battle, so the screen would cut to black. The cry defending Pokemon would be heard, but it was distorted, played at a much lower pitch than normal sounds, and the battle screen would then reappear, and the defending Pokemon would be gone. And if in a battle against the trainer, when the Pokeballs were represented, the Pokemon would appear in the corner. They would have one fewer Pokeball. And the implications was that Pokemon had died. What's even stranger is that after defeating a trainer and seeing a red receive $200 for winning, the battle commands would appear again. And if you selected run, the battle would end as it normally does. You could also select curse. And if you did, upon returning to the overworld, the trainer sprite would be gone. And after re-entering the area or where the trainer had guy been, and he'd be replaced with Tombstone, like at Lavender Tower, and the move Curse was not usable in all times. It would fail Ghost Pokemon, and it would also fail is if you use trainers that would have to face against again, such as the rival or Givani, and it was unusable in the final battle against them, which is weird. But however, I figured that this gimmick there's a gimmick in the game allowing you to use the previously uncaptured ghosts. And because the curse made the game so easy, I essentially used it throughout the entire time. And the game changed quite a bit after defeating the Elite Four. After viewing the Hall of Fame, which consisted of Ghost and a couple of very underlevel Pokemon, the screen cut to black and a box appeared and said, many years later, ... And then it cut to Lavender Tower and an old man was standing and looking at the tombstones, and then you realize that the old man is your character. And then the man moved at only half the normal walking speed. And no longer had Pokemon with him, not even the Ghost, who up to this point had been impossible to remove from your party and depositing it in your PC. The overworld was entirely empty, and there were no people at all. There were still tombstones on the trainers that you use curse on. However, you could pretty much go anywhere in the overworld at this point. And though your movement was limited by the fact that you had no Pokemon to use HMs on, and regardless of where you went, the music at Lavender Tower continued on infinite loop, never stopped. And after wandering for a while, I found that if you go to Digless Cave on the Cubestead bushes that normally block your path, they're no longer there, and allowing you, I can go to Pallet Town, no problem. And upon entering the house and going to the exact tile where you start the game, the screen would cut to black. Then a sprite of Centipede appeared, and it was replaced by a Weedle, and then a Piggy, and I soon realized, as the Pokemon progressed from Rattata to Blastoise, that there were all the Pokemon that I had used a curse on. And after the end of the Rivals team, a youngster appeared, and then a bug catcher, and then I was the trainers, and I had cursed them. And then the sequence, the Lavender Town music was playing still, because it's on infinite loop, and slowly it was getting slower and deeper in the sound and pitch and stuff. And by the time the Rivals appeared, and on the screen, it was a little more than like a rumble, like demons. And then cut to black. A few minutes later, battle screen suddenly, and your trainer sprite was now that old man I was talking about, and the same one who teaches you how to catch Pokemon in Viridian City, which is kind of crazy. And the ghost appeared on the other side, along with the words "Ghost wants to fight." And you couldn't use items, and you had no Pokemon, and then you tried to run, and you couldn't escape, and the only option was to fight. So using fight would immediately cause you to struggle, which didn't affect the ghost, but it did chip a bit of your own HP. And when ghost turns to attack, it would simply say dot 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 dot, and then when your HP would reach a critical point, ghost would finally use curse, and the screen cut to black a final time. Regardless of the buttons you pressed, it permanently stuck in this black screen. And at this point, the only thing you could do was turn the Game Boy off. And when you played again, new game, only option. The game erased, file gone, save, file gone. I played through the hacked game many times, lots of times. Even time the game ended, the sequence every single time. Several times I didn't use Ghost at all. He was impossible to remove from the party, but I didn't show him any moves. I didn't show him the Pokemon trainers, and I didn't curse anybody. I'm not sure what the motives were behind the creator of this hack. Is very widely distributed, so it was presumably not for monetary gain, obviously. And it was very well done, bootleg, very good. And it seems like he was trying to convey a message, though it seems also still that the receiver of this message, I'm not entirely sure what it is or what it means. And the inevitability of death, is it the pointless of it? Is their life cool? Perhaps he is simply trying to inject death in the darkness into a children's game. Regardless, the children's game has made me think, and it has made me cry. Oh boy, that's a weird read. That's a blind read, and I'm drunk as fuck. I am sorry.